This is Terry Swoope and this is Real Talk. In this video I'm going to talk about why I believe Noah's Ark is a myth. I believe it's a fairy tale that never happened. And I'm going to provide evidence to prove that it never happened. Now I'm looking at this from a logical point of view and not a religious point of view. I'm not a religious person. Now there's some religious people who believe every word of this story without any physical evidence that Noah's Ark ever existed. And if you're looking at this from a logical point of view, there's no possible way this boat could hold every animal in the world. There's no possible way you could fit every animal in the world on one boat. First of all, Noah's Ark was half the size of the Titanic. The Titanic was 175 feet, built with steel. Noah's Ark was 45 feet, built with wood. The Titanic holded 3,500 people, and they had enough food and water to live off for 3 weeks. Noah's Ark supposedly holded 50,000 animals and 2 million insects. And they were able to feed all these animals and insects for an entire year. First of all, if you look at animals like elephants and giraffes, they eat from trees. So they would have starved to death on a boat for a year. There's no possible way you would be able to feed all these animals for a year. And there's also no possible way you could fit all these animals and insects on one boat. So there's no possible way that Noah's Ark could have floated. There's no way it could have lasted for that long. Now let's look at the people on Noah's Ark. Now there's 8 people on Noah's Ark. And supposedly these 8 white people repopulated the entire world. How did these 8 white people repopulate the entire world when most of the 8 people were part of the same family? So are you saying these 8 people repopulated the world through incest? And how were all the different races created through 8 white people? That's why this story is laughable, man. I can understand if you're a Christian and you were raised to believe this story. I'm not knocking anybody's beliefs. But for any person that has a common sense, logical mindset, you can't possibly take this story seriously. Now, I just saw the movie Noah's Ark with Russell Crowe, and I thought it was a good movie. Even though the story didn't follow the story that's in the Bible, I still think it's a good movie. I don't think it matters that it doesn't follow the story in the Bible. That's what a lot of Christians are complaining about this movie about. But it shouldn't really matter because we all know this never existed. Any person that has common sense knows Noah's Ark never existed. Now a lot of Christians will say this is the Word of God when the Bible is a man-made written book. The Bible is not the Word of God. I'm sorry. I think this is how a lot of Christians brainwash people by saying it's the Word of God when the Bible was written by people. Now, I'm not an atheist. I believe in God. I just don't believe in man-made religions. I don't believe in man-made fairy tales. A lot of people think if you don't believe in the Bible, you must be an atheist. They think if you don't believe in Noah's Ark, you must be an atheist. If you don't believe in Adam and Eve, you must be an atheist. I'm just a logical thinking person. That's why I'm a deist. I believe in God, but I don't believe in religion. I think religion divides people more than anything. It's one of the reasons why there's so much hatred and animosity throughout the world. That's why I try to encourage as many people to be free-minded thinkers as possible. Now, I'm not knocking anybody for believing this, because it's only human nature that you're going to believe what you were raised to believe. No matter how ridiculous the story is. If you were raised to believe something, you're going to believe it. All the evidence shows that Noah's Ark never happened, because there's no physical evidence to prove that Noah's Ark ever happened. Now, I hear a lot of stories about Christians saying they found Noah's Ark in Turkey, and they found it here, and they found it there. These are all lies and propaganda. There is no physical evidence that Noah's Ark ever existed. They have never found any pieces of the boat. They have never found any physical evidence whatsoever. So every time you hear a Christian say, oh, they found Noah's Ark, they found it in Turkey, they found it in the Middle East, they found it in Asia. They have never found any pieces of any boat resembling Noah's Ark. This is all lies and propaganda. And that's how they get people to believe these fairy tales. That's how they brainwash people into believing this false religion called Christianity. Now, I just want to encourage people to look at this from a logical point of view and not a religious point of view. A lot of people have different opinions about this topic. Leave a comment, rate, and subscribe.